All right, so I have some printed photos here, and before I get into them, let me kind of explain what they are going to be and what this as a video is going to be. About a week and a half ago, it was last Sunday, I went on a first date with somebody. We spent the entire day together, and midway through the day, they asked to go to the store. I asked why, and they said to get disposable cameras. They like to do this thing where we each get a disposable camera, we take pictures throughout our day together, and at the end of the day, before saying goodbye, we swap cameras, get them developed on our own, and then we get these photos back of what the other person chose to capture throughout the date. And I really, really liked that idea. One, because I'm such like a posterity person. I love a photo. I love a memory. It's also, I'm very much of the mindset that people photograph the things they love. So it's going to be interesting to see the things that they wanted to remember and the things that they loved and that they valued and admired throughout our time together. And when we get back together sometime, it'd be interesting to compare the photos and see, because we went on the same date with one another, but I'm sure we captured very, very different things. So in here is going to be the photos that the person I was on a date took. And throughout this, I feel like I'm going to end up talking quite a bit about how I handle love and affection and all these things. We will see. But first, let's actually get into these. I don't know if they're in chronological order. I'm going to pretty much recap the date through these photos with you guys. But again, if they're not in chronological order, I do not know what to tell you. Also, real quick, when I was getting these at Walmart, the man, it was a young man. He was probably no more than 22 at the most. His name was Sheldon. I said, you never meet a bitch named Sheldon nowadays. What do you mean your name is Sheldon? My name is Siaha, S-I-A-H-A, so he could have come back at me, but let's actually get into these, yeah? God, I hope they're chronological. We are starting off strong here. I would like to maybe do them like this. I don't want to see them coming. Do you know what I mean? I would like to, let's see, can I do them backwards? I mean, I can do whatever I want. Ooh, starting big, bitch. So this definitely is the last photo that was taken. That is the person that I went on the date with. I will have to ask them if it's okay to now have this included in a video. So we'll start from this side, but I'm going to pull them from, it's like we're pulling Pokemon cards. You ever watch somebody pull Pokemon cards? I highly recommend it. It is very relaxing. Also, give me a moment to breathe, because I like my ASMR videos when they're like relaxed. And right now I feel like I'm trying to explain so many things. I've wound my mind up with that purpose, when I just need to unwind and enjoy this moment of kind of just reveling in somebody that I really, really admire and what they captured during our time together. We've already seen this one. I don't know how it's shown up on camera, but it's just black with some fun edges. It's actually quite pretty in a weird way. I love gradients and grain, and let me bring this up to you. It's got this I don't know what you can see. I cannot see a monitor of the camera, so you get what you get with these videos. What? Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys. You guys have to stop me. Oh my God. So here we have not the most flattering photo of me, but definitely not the least flattering photo of me I've ever seen. That is at a Goodwill. So before we got the cameras, what we did is I drove to this coffee place called the Toasty Goat that I thought we were going to go to, because I am a fool and I didn't check if it's open. It was not. We drove all the way there. So what we did instead was we went downtown and we went to this little coffee shop. We walked around, got some food, went to this little coffee shop and got to know each other. Went to a record store. Excuse me. And give me a second to slow down my mind and actually be willing to tell you stories here. Yeah, so I want to go to this place called the Toasty Goat, and I told him ahead of time, we're going to go to this place called the Toasty Goat. We drive there And as we arrive, I'm like, you know what? I didn't check if they were open. So then we check, and you'll never believe it, they were not open. So then we're both quite polite and indecisive, but I'm the one, he's from out of town, so he was visiting me. So I probably should have been the one to make decisions, but we're quite indecisive between the two of us, the way strangers are sometimes. And I don't even remember whose idea it was, but we ended up, like I said, going downtown. I parked at a meter, did not pay it because it didn't take card, and I said, fuck it, because I do not worry about things. And this person, I wouldn't call them a worrier so much, but they are more of somebody to worry than me, and maybe somebody to follow the rules a bit more than I do. So immediately I was like, oh no, is me not paying the thing gonna stress them out? But so we walk around downtown, no real purpose other than we're looking for coffee. We ended up at this little place called Shortwave Coffee, and I know we're supposed to be going through photos, but let me catch you up to where these photos start, because I'm also here to just talk softly about a beautiful day I had. Excuse my heavy breathing. I feel like I'm not allowing myself to breathe. If you hear dogs barking, I apologize. They are not mine. They are somebody's. Well, they are their own. You know, as life, they are their own. But yeah, we went to this place called Shortwave Coffee. And a few nights before, when we were talking on the phone, he had mentioned something called like a lemon fog. And on the menu, I had never had one. It's like something with milk and tea. And I like tea, but I just drink it fucking raw. I'm not like a milk tea fancy bitch, you know? And on the menu, they had something called London fog. So we both got those, and I thought that was pretty cute because it's something kind of like what they had mentioned the other day. They were underwhelming, and I didn't know so much what to expect from them. I don't, again, drink things like that often, but they were like, it's kind of underwhelming, and I was like, I didn't think I had a lot of flavor, but I had a good time. And we sat by this window because they like sunlight. They're very vibrant as a person, so it makes all the sense in the world. And I was melting. And I was also like wearing this hat, as you can see, and also a sweater, as you can see. And where was I going with this? Oh, and I was quite warm, but they got their tea. They were beautiful, and they were wearing these like bright green overalls and this like flower shirt. And as we finished up that coffee, everywhere we went, from the Starbucks we ate at to the bookstore we went to the record store we went to, they kept giving compliments on their bright green overalls and their floral shirt, and just like the way they glow. It's not even glowing. The way they reflect the light that others throw at them. People are so beautiful and so kind to compliment him, and he just like glows and reflects it back into the world, and I just like really admired it. It was so cool to see somebody be admired. I don't know if that's a bit lame, but this whole video is going to be a bit lame. If you don't want to vomit and gag at earnesty, you better click the fuck off, because I'm full of love and earnesty and admiration. But yeah, that's basically what we did, which I kind of zoomed through that, but it was half the fucking day. So then we go get these cameras, and then on the way out from getting the cameras, on our way to trails, we went to a Goodwill. That's where this was taken. Now we're caught up. And at the Goodwill, we both found one thing we liked separately, and we decided not to get either thing, and we had a good time. And it was kind of fun flipping through sweaters. I'm not somebody who like thrifts, or even I don't really clothes shop at all, so it was kind of fun to do that and be in this like dusty space. And they're a big thrifter, so fun to kind of be in their world for a second. There's that picture again. Don't know how well you can see it, how well it is or is not lit, how much glare it is or is not getting. I look all right there. It's not always about looking good, though. Oh, I like that sound. Alright, let me not touch these too much with my nasty-ass fingers. Whoa. Whoa. If my head comes into frame at any point, as I'm like looking at these, forgive me. That's pretty. It's like the sun, if you look a bit, I am right there. Thank God you can't see me very clearly, because I think I look quite bad there, but I have a smile. And you know, if I'm smiling, that can't be too bad. I don't know where that is. Maybe out on the trails? Because we, after the Goodwill, which we didn't plan to go to. It was just on the way out of the Walmart. I was like, you want to go there? And I turned on into there. Oh, well, I keep pulling that one off the top, and that dog keeps barking in the background. We hit these trails, which I'm sure there'll be plenty of pictures of, called Grindstone Trails, close by my house. I like to go there a lot. Lately, I've been going there way after dark, which don't yell at me for being in the woods in the dark. I know what I'm doing, bitch. Also, it is what it is, and I like to sit on these cold rocks by the water and just fucking think and pull in the stillness. So sharing a place I really love with somebody was also really nice. Just kind of more of the trail with beautiful sun rays. And they like to take film photos and disposable photos, so they've got this fucking down to an art. And Jesus Christ, because I wouldn't have known how this would react, like this light. And it's really pretty, and they're really good at that. That dog is going to drive me nuts. This is a compost area on the trail, I believe, and it's just really pretty red thing. I actually passed this on the way to where I go sit, because funny enough, and I didn't plan this, but where we ended up sitting the other day is where I sit at night. And we sat there, and I'll kind of get to that point as we pull through the photos, but we'll see. Y'all better appreciate that dog, it's ambiance. Oh, the fucking sun rays are so pretty. My hair, you can't see it, and you're not going to be able to see this no matter how close I hold this. These are quite dark and so pretty, though, the sun rays. My hair was wild that day, which is why I had a hat on, but even with a hat on, my hair was wild that day. That's a really cute picture. These fucking... Homeboy said sun rays for days. Look at that. Another one of me. Shoot, homeboy was enjoying me. These are so pretty. He must have known that, like, that's how the sun works on these. He's gonna be so underwhelmed when he gets my photos. They are a mess, I feel. I don't know. I don't really use film very often. Is that my boot? That's my boot. That's my leg. And he is... Oh, these are pretty. This is such a cute idea. If you look, it's just like this bridge we crossed, some trees, and my boot and my leg. Those aren't the boots. I think I'm wearing them right now. These are my old factory boots when I worked at the factory. Many years later, they are still going strong. They have this big steel toe in them that I just be banging on things. I just clanking around life. I'm in a lot of these. This one's really pretty. I don't see myself in motion a lot. I feel like maybe most of us don't. Like in motion in the world, because I guess I record YouTube videos sometimes, but this is like different. That's a really pretty one as well. It's also cool that, like, this is gonna sound bizarre. It's really cool that, like, a picture can be beautiful and I can be a part of it. Like, I can be a beautiful part of a beautiful thing. And I very much was that day, so I like this one. I like this one a lot. I think it got like 28, 29 photos these things come with, so. Ooh, you know what? He had a point. When he took this photo, he had his flash on, as you can tell, and just shot it at the water. And I was thinking, I specifically said it out loud as if I knew better than him. I do not, clearly. I said, oh, I don't know about flash on water, because I thought, just gonna be white. Nope. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, I like that water, though. Right now it's autumn, and I live in Missouri, so we do actually get the seasons. And there's still life in the water that's visible. And there's always life in the water. And the water is a life of its own, if you really think about it, and the way it carries things. But in the summer, this water is so alive. You can't make a move, even if you're not moving. If you move, you see so much movement. But even if you stay still, You can see schools of little things. You can see tadpoles. You can see pollywogs. You can see like littlest of fish. It's bugs skating on the top. It's my favorite thing in the world. It is. I love the world. As lame as that sounds. Oh my god. Do I have a big ass dump truck ass? What is that? No, it's just the photo. And I mean, I've got a decent ass, don't get me wrong, but I look like a big boy in that photo. Not in a bad way though. I don't look bad. These are pretty. I hope my photos came out pretty. That one's really pretty. Right? I wish I could see what y'all see. Again, I mean, I suppose it was a date with me, so capturing me would be reasonable. And he was in, I would say, probably 90% of the photos I took as well, so that's fair. God, there's that. It's also just nice to have printed photos. I used to, because I take a lot of digital photos. I'm very much a capturer of things. I take notes. I take photos of everything, because I love everything. But I used to print them often, and I don't anymore, so it's nice to have prints. I don't like this. This makes me mad. I'm actually going to text, the kid's name is Kodiak. I'm going to text Kodiak and tell him I hate him and that I'm mad at him about this one. My legs look very skinny. It's not his fault. This is my fault. My legs look skinny. My pants look tight. I don't wear tight pants. It is the photo. In the way I'm holding my legs, I look like a Disney Channel star. It's a beautiful photo, but it is a sick reflection of myself. Man, I don't look too bad there. Alright. Sorry that my vanity, it is so ridiculous to be vain. Because to be vain in a moment like this is to cut through and ignore the beauty of everything around me, which is so immense. And ignore the fact that I do get to play into it, which is a divine role to play. To be a piece in a beautiful moment, in a beautiful scene. To cut through all of that and just focus on me as an individual. Never am I just an individual. I am always part of something. There's always a context within which I'm shining. So let me avoid being like, ugh, I look back at, ugh, this, da, da, da. Let me try to avoid that. It is not healthy, and it is not fair to everything else that surrounds me and is beautiful. And it's disrespectful to my own beauty as well, so there's that. It's a fun leaf, and it's a fun me. Looks like the sun's going down there. We were out there for a bit. I just like that noise. More trees. No sun rays in that one. I really like this one, and I'll hold it up to you, but I also have to view it myself as well. I can't just show you. I look so goofy, but I am goofy, so I really don't mind looking goofy. I think it's one of my favorite things about myself is that I'm quite silly and fun and light. And that's me pointing, actually. Ooh, this is a point of contention. Is that what I'm pointing at? I think it is. I think I'm pointing out on this sign the honeysuckle. It's called bush honeysuckle. It's an invasive species in Missouri. Again, I live in Missouri. I did not know it's an invasive species. I love bush honeysuckle. I love honeysuckle. I don't really know the difference between bush and regular, but I love honeysuckle. And he told me it's invasive and that it chokes out all these other plants, and due to that he doesn't like that life is dying for this invasive thing to continue to grow. Diversity dies, beauty in theory dies, because I don't think beauty can die. I think it can get repurposed, but that's a deep philosophical spiritual belief. And this moment, I'm explaining it because it stood out to me to the point where a day or two later I felt like I needed to discuss this moment with him. And I struggled so much to be able to discuss it. I wrote a poem and sent him that because we are those type of people. There's noise, I'll give it a second. But I told him, and I said it so haphazardly, I think if I had taken my time with my words and explained what I meant, I wouldn't have left this interaction feeling like I needed to clarify and apologize days later. But I told him, when he mentioned life dying, I said something along the lines of like, that's change. Everything moves forward and everything changes. So it's not bad that this honeysuckle's choking out other beauty. And it was a quick moment, but it really stuck in my head. And it also stuck in his head, because I thought, I must just be insane. It probably doesn't even matter to him. It did stick out to him as well, which he's got that mind on him. And I would read you that poem just because we're being soft and like vulnerable right now, but I don't have it with me. It's on any device. It's in the cloud, but devices are not nearby. But that's me pointing to the bush honeysuckle, being silly, and oh boy, is that exactly what I was in that moment. Just more beautiful parts. Oh, it's not in focus here because I think a disposable camera has a fixed focus, and he was quite close. Beautiful photo nonetheless, but what I think he wanted to capture wasn't as clearly captured as I would have liked. But there was this thing growing off this tree. It almost looked like a dandelion when it's fuzzy, not when it's yellow, but when it's that fuzzy white stuff, the thing you blow and you make a wish, you know? And it wasn't a dandelion. It's growing out of the tree, or upon it maybe, and it was so wispy. The slightest amount of wind, it would like sway, almost like water. It was so fluid, and it must have been some sort of fungi, and it was so interesting and pretty. It caught both of our eyes. So, and I had actually forgotten about that, so it's so fun to be reminded. I, in some sick way, wish I did have the photos to share, at least in this video, that I took, just because, that's not what this is. Let's not think about what things aren't, and let's appreciate them for what they are. And this is what we're taking in his perspective. We have more of the woods, and then there's these benches all spread throughout. All of them have some sort of in memory of, or to congratulate, all these things. And this one's in memory of Roscoe, who was greatly missed. This is actually quite a while into our time together on the trail, because remember, first, this won't mean anything to you, went off to the right, which is where we sat by the rocks. And you know what? When we sat by the rocks, I think that's the part of the day where I kind of went a bit quiet, because I think time was filled very well, and there were plenty of silences that were very comfortable between the two of us. But I really went silent before this, when we were sitting on the rocks in the woods by the water. And because again, especially him with me, he shares so much of his like poetry and stuff, and I share little bits and pieces of thoughts and notes that I have. He showed me a song he had. Well, first he asked me if I had any songs I would like to show him. I said no, because I didn't. I thought he meant like music I like, because all day in the car he had been playing me music he likes and sharing it with me. And also, I never let anybody really hold or use my phone. In that whole day, I had no issue with him using my phone the entirety of my driving to control music, to the point where when it locked, I told him the password. And now it's like very tiny, but to me that's such like a tiny blip of intimacy. But I didn't realize he even meant like my own music, and I wouldn't have had that to share at the time either. But then he asked to share one of his with me, and he sang me this song he wrote, which is an intimidating thing probably for him to do, but also as me, the person also on the date. It's an intimidating thing when a man looks at you and is about to sing a song, because you're like, oh fucking boy, here we go, you know? Cringe. No. Beautiful song, sang it great. I'm enamored with this kid, and actually, as we get through these, maybe I'll tell you about where him and I sit with each other now, because it's not in a romantic context, which is what I wanted. but we do sit beautifully in each other's lives and in a place that fits nonetheless. But that's all kind of sidetracked from these benches. This was when we were later on the trail, eventually turned left, which again I know doesn't mean much too. You can tell the sun is setting more. What the? So I'm looking at this. I'm like pulling it off so I can look at it. Are those people? Y'all can't tell. Give me a second. Those might be people. It's hard to tell, but pretty picture. Sun is setting. It's autumn if you can't tell. Perfect time to take a beautiful, beautiful man on a beautiful, beautiful walk. Whoa. Oh, so there's this like graffiti in some parts. It's so funny because I took a picture of graffiti too. He took a picture of this, I hope you can see it, cute little hot dog who looks a bit sad, looks downtrodden, some may say. I took a picture of there's just somebody wrote so no head, so that kind of shows you where my head was at. Not, let me just say, never mind, I'm not even going to talk about any of that, but oi, Jesus is alive. What else is on there? Satan loves you, somebody wrote. Add me at, and then somebody's like, at is cut off. It looks like it just says at Kenneth. So like the Kenneth was here, I suppose. That's so funny because I took pictures on that wall too. The colors over here, if you can tell, are really pretty and rich. Oh, there's this structure, and I don't know what things are. I don't know a lot in life. I'm not an informed man. I don't know what this structure was, but it's cool. That's where that's where pretty much all that graffiti that he photographed was. You know what? It is so interesting and actually really, really meaningful and impactful to see myself photographed in ways I wouldn't expect, that I wouldn't do myself, and that I at the surface wouldn't want. Because I feel like it gives me like a clear image of like how I'm actually perceived from the outside. And you know what? It's not what I aim for, and it's not what I expect, but I do think I like him. He seems nice, and he seems fun, and his eyes look my eyes look gigantic there. I'm pale as fuck. Homeboy's pale. It's autumn. What do you expect? I am Irish. What do you expect? Like my genetics, not like me. I'm a fucking pure-blood American. Huh. I like that picture. I look a little old, but we're not gonna... I don't mind aging, which is this... Oh, Kodiak. He thinks about aging, and he doesn't look forward to it. And it is from a vanity perspective, I think, a lot of it, but also, like, your body changes, and it is less comfortable. But, like, I've been loving aging. I've never felt better than I do now. I'm 29. And when people get stressed about aging, it, like... I get it. One, because it's reasonable as a human to not want to age. And also, I think societally, you're just, like, warned of, like, all these downsides of aging. Nobody tells you that, like, if you let yourself, you come into your own. Both in the terms of vanity, of you learn what you actually look like and how to work with yourself. And how to express who you are on the inside, on your outside. In a way that's actually flattering to you, because you can't just put on things that maybe suit that are your taste, and because they might not flatter and they might not create what you mean to create. Let me put these here so we have at least something kind of in frame when I'm just chatting with you, because this is quite boring when I'm just talking and not pulling photos. How's that? Let me be quiet while you hear like the photo noises. There we go. But yeah, I've in a vanity sense never looked better. despite I used to have a sharper jaw. I used to have a more defined chin. I used to have... my skin's actually doing pretty good, but it probably used to be smoother. My lips used to have more collagen, but I still have never looked better. I've never felt better mentally because I've come to understand myself and work with myself, and I don't know. I love young me. I love his persistence, his insistence. But me now is like, sorry if this is narcissistic, like you have to understand I'm madly in love with myself. Aging's great, is all I'm saying. And Kodiak, my dear Kodiak, do not fear age so much. Oy. That fixed focus really got his ass on this one. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know what to tell you, bud. Good memory nonetheless, you know? Oh, that's my bedroom. That is... Man, my bedroom is so bland. But I like a really bland bedroom, so then it's like peace of mind when you go to bed. There's my mirror, which looks like a black hole in the photo. Some lights, a Splatoon 3 poster from back when my room used to be an office. Just haven't taken it down. We didn't spend much time in my bedroom. We just kind of stopped by there while we were waiting for Garrison to vacate the room I'm in now, which is like this upstairs room with a bunch of squishmallows and stuff. Maybe I'll show you at the end of the video. I'll pick the camera up and show you this room. It's quite cute. But just picture my room. There's a picture in this room that we're in now. You can see little Gus with the mushrooms, some Zelda posters. Me looking how I look. We ended up eating, let's talk about, I haven't really caught you up to kind of events. So when we got back from let me look at myself. I look alright. I be looking alright. Not too bad, not too shabby. Thanks kiddo for capturing me looking pretty decent. But I hope you can see it. Yeah, we came back to my house after walking on the trails. We were a little bit cold. It started getting a little bit chilly. We come back. We had to eat again. I was like, "Good sir, you need to eat." And he said, "Yes, I do." And I said, "What sounds good?" And then, it's while we were walking through the woods, actually. He said, "I would like some pho." I've never had pho in my life. I was like, uh-oh. And I was like, well, we've got to have pho places. I live in a decent-sized city, especially for the state. But I don't know. I don't be knowing pho places. So I call my friend Chris. He says, "There's this one, but it is closed because it is a Sunday." And then I said, "Damn, all right, thanks, love you," and then hang up. So, and I had that call on speaker, actually. And, so Cody, I gotta hear it. But we ended up ordering this place called Kinko Sushi to my house. He got a bubble tea, Pokeball, and some sushi. I just got a Pokeball because that's really... Except for I fucked up the order and I accidentally ordered 2. So I had like extra Pokeball the next day for myself. And when he was ordering the food, because I handed him my phone, we were sitting in my car in front of my house because he'd be showing me music while we were driving everywhere we went. And sometimes we'd pull up and the song wouldn't be done, or it wouldn't be to the part I knew he wanted to show me. So we'd kind of sit there, and it was so soft. I can't explain it. In my car with their music playing, with us usually kind of silently listening to it, so as to not talk over it or miss the moment that they wanted to show me. It was like its own little like encapsulated world, and to be there with somebody I found so... Oh my god, the band next door, you're gonna have to deal with it, is playing. They are playing drums. They're very good, but it's not conducive to like a peaceful video. But things are what they are. We accept them for what they are. That'll make this video more dynamic. If you can hear it, which you must be able to hear it, but maybe you can't, I don't know. But they were sitting in my car ordering sushi while music played, and it was dark out at this point. So is my phone screen like glowing on their and not to be too romantic, but also I'm going to be too romantic. They are beautiful. Absolutely fucking beautiful. So it's like my phone glowing in their face while they order food, and they ask me what's good, and soft music plays, and I'm just like, damn, how much am I allowed to like you? Because I'm a very, it's been said many times, intense person. I fucking know when I know, and I was like, I'm not allowed to fall in love with you right now, because, whoa, I think I am. And, yeah, so we order food, we get inside. This is taken inside, believe it or not. Oh. You got, we've got some of the squishmallows that live in this room. We've got two of them in love, holding hands and sharing popcorn. That's what ended up being where Kodiak sat to eat their food. Last photo. I didn't dread it as much as I could have, but because we got a whole day together. As the night started coming to a close, because I knew about what time they were heading out. I wasn't looking forward to letting them go. I could have, you know that when you fall for somebody during a first date, you feel like you could drink them in forever. There's some fucking noise for you if you want it. But the last thing we did, which I don't know if this is what that picture's from, but the last thing we did on our date, other than a goodbye, was we drove to Walmart to drop off my camera, and we got 2 more cameras to take pictures while we were apart. And maybe I put in my own head, I thought, here's what we'll do. We'll get more cameras, and then because when we were in the car, my car, ordering food, they wanted to pay for the food. I was like, buddy, I don't have Cash App, I don't have nothing, and it's my DoorDash, so it's going on my card. You're not allowed to pay me back. You couldn't if you tried. Because they and I do this as well. I don't like when people pay for my food because I like to order a lot and I don't want to feel bad about it. And I said, here's what we'll do, so you don't have to feel bad. Order fucking everything you want. Eat the fuck up, homeboy. And if I'll be so bold as to expect a second date, you can get cameras again for our 2 weeks apart, and I'll let you pay for that. And so I did. Oh, I'm holding this like, ooh, we're looking forward to what's the last photo gonna be. We had hella foreshadowing for that one, aka we knew. There he is, though, in a pair of actually Paloma Picasso sunglasses. An old pair of Paloma Picasso sunglasses. You may recognize that last name. That is Picasso's daughter. Again, that is in this room that we are currently in. A room that him and I sat in and had just like a beautiful, quiet eating together. I don't know. He played music videos on the TV. But yeah, so we went to Walmart, got those cameras. I turned mine in to get it developed. He had to kind of walk me through the little robot screen that you use because I don't do this, you know. And I wonder if his photos that I took are available. When does he get those? I could ask him, but let's go to Walmart, drive home, go back inside real quick to grab some of his things, but we say goodbye outside because I don't know, just it made more sense. And also Garrison, another one of the loves of my life that I live with, was downstairs because he lives downstairs. And so I walk him out to his car. It's obviously dark out. He's such a good writer. He's so good at expressing beautiful things in a nuanced, poetic way. I don't have that, but what I do have is a really phenomenal ability to, in the moment, be expressed and externalize admiration and thoughts and feelings in a way that can be received. So I kind of stop and I'm like, hey, thank you for this. Thank you for giving so much of yourself. I am sorry if I didn't talk as much as you or give as much of myself as you. I love to hear you, and I do try to give myself, and I'm sorry if it's because I always have this feeling, and this knowledge actually is not a feeling, that I'm holding back sometimes with people, and it's something I'm always working on because it has come up many times. And then I asked for a hug because we hadn't touched this whole day because I don't know this person that well, and I don't. Everybody's so different about touch levels, and I wouldn't want to be touching somebody all day anyways. And I hugged them as we say goodbye. They hug me tighter than I hug them. And something about that was like, the most reassuring thing in the world. And the whole day, not to be cocky, I could tell, like, we're both enjoying ourselves, or else it wouldn't have lasted all day. But, so I wasn't over here worried that they weren't having fun or that they didn't like me. That was very clear to me. But that hugging me tighter than I hugged them initially meant so much and said so much. And that was a Sunday, so then I went back inside and probably fucking showered and did things and went to bed probably later than I should have. Because I would have had work the next day. And kind of where I fall with this person now, Kodiak. Love him endlessly. I'm just trying to think about how to condense the story and what details to put in and what to not put in. But basically, we've decided to move forward with a closeness, but that's not inherently romantic. And it's not what I wanted, and I was quite sad. And I do still hold a profound sadness over it. But I also, and maybe as I do more of these ASMR videos and talk about things, you will learn I am so happy to love and admire people. And to have him in my life in any avenue is beautiful. I have such beautiful relationships with all of my exes. And he's not an ex. We never were a thing. You know, I think had a mutual shared interest. We did this back and forth, and the decision, kind of line in the sand, some may say, was drawn there. But I have a great relationship with exes. Live with one. My best friend is my ex-husband, who I don't live with. John, one of the loves of my life, is coming over probably Thanksgiving or Friday. Who John didn't tell me. I won't get too hung up on the topic. I haven't seen him in a while. We live in the same town. He had a major health scare. A health issue. It's not even a scare. A health issue. And didn't tell me. And didn't reach out. And didn't ask for anything. And I'm like, John. Because I sent him a text the other night saying, I love you endlessly. Let's meet up sometime. I miss you. And they told me, definitely, because they were in Greece. They're a professor. And they do this study abroad thing. I think it's Greece. They were in Greece, and then they had to go to Budapest to go to their old family house because he's Hungarian Canadian. A lot of things about this man. Beautiful man. Perfect man. As perfect as, perfection's not. You know what I'm saying. But, so I actually have a call here after I finish this with him where I have to scold him for not reaching out and, it's not just that I don't mind being called upon. I love to be called upon. But all that just to say, my purpose in life is somebody who has done everything he wanted. And for years was very suicidal because I felt hopeless and pointless and almost sometimes like I was already dead. If I went into a psychosis, I'd wonder if I was already dead at times because I'd done everything. And what has brought me joy and excitement and brought my life this dynamic vibrance is realizing the immense amount of love that I hold inside of myself, and realizing that love is not static and defined by forever. And love is not platonic, sexual, romantic, or some combination of the three. It is so multifaceted and nuanced. And for me to ever try to shape a dynamic or relationship with somebody, I keep using the word dynamic, I apologize, into one defined thing that I want it to be or that I believe it should be, is to undermine the individual, one-of-a-kind beauty that it does hold. So I can be hurt, and I will and have been hurt by not getting what I wanted, what I expected from people at times. But every time I'm let down, a month later, I'm like, this is perfect. I'm so happy with the shape of it. And it doesn't happen often that I fall in romantic love. I, for many years, thought politely that like it didn't exist in me anymore. Now we're just talking about love in general, but my channel, bitch. But, and I was happy. It wasn't a sad thing because I still held profound love inside me. I just thought that romance was gone from me. And I didn't miss it. I was happy. I was a whole. I've always felt, not always felt, within recent years, I have felt like I am this very, how do I explain it? How do I explain over these drums, if you hear those drums? I'm this very niche character that doesn't have another half. Not only because I am full as myself, which I think everybody's inherently full, but some people can't exist as halves that come together, I believe. But it's not me. But even if I was a half, there's not another half for me. I really feel, and again, this used to cause me dread, and now I find almost a pride in it. Such a distinct, my own thing. And I just won't be matched. So romantic love, I don't feel often. But the last time I did, before Kodiak, because I did very much feel for Kodiak, and I do. It also went kind of like this where we never got too deep into the romance before they were like, I don't think that's where I want this to end up. And when they told me that, which was at the time like probably the number one thing I dreaded hearing, but also because I had an anxiety building up to it that I was like, I feel like I'm about to hear this. When they told me that, I could tell that there was sadness inside of me, but I almost couldn't feel it. Because it was a relief, and I immediately was like, this fits so well. In a life that had, I love change. It had just completely changed and come together and become, I speak so bizarrely and abstractly at times. It felt like my life was a fresh puddle with fresh frog eggs in it and fresh life growing out of it. Like still shallow fresh water. Everything was new, but everything was alive and bustling. The only thing that felt wrong was the anxiety I felt toward Stevie is their name. So getting told no, suddenly it wasn't what I wanted, but everything felt good. And that was a really, because I knew in theory, I intellectually understood that what we want isn't always what's right. But this was like one of my first major lessons in kind of the proof of what you want isn't always right. And immediately just everything felt right. And there was that sadness, but again, I couldn't feel it. With the Kodiak thing now, I felt the sadness a lot more. Things do feel right. They don't feel as settled as the Stevie thing. They feel like there's still ups and downs to be had with me and Kodiak, and I could be very wrong in that. I don't want to be, bold. I cannot predict the future. But I think, I don't know. But yeah, because the minute Stevie said, let's leave it where it's at. And again, I maintain a decent relationship with Stevie. God, and boy, do I fucking love Stevie. I'm full of love, bitch. Y'all wanna be loved? Leave me a comment down below. I'll probably love you. I've got endless amounts. It's easy to do. But yeah, where everything felt right after the Stevie thing, I do feel like something's a little bit missing with me with the Kodiak thing. But we're close. And things feel the same, and it's like still this mutual exchange of admiration. It's just like now we know that it's not going here, but it still gets to be this beautiful, vibrant thing. Because Kodiak, more than anybody I've ever met, and maybe this is narcissistic, but I see mirrored in him the same warmth and immense joy and profound optimism and deep, deep, deep love that I hold. I see it in him, and we have never seen anybody else. And maybe that's why I felt like the nuanced niche character that I was maybe could collide with the character that they are. They are beautiful in a way that I can't even explain. I have notes upon notes, poems upon poems about them. And I will have many more in the future. They are beautiful. And I appreciate that they understand the nuance in different shapes that love can take. Because my biggest fear, and anytime I choose to not continue forward with somebody romantically, or when somebody chooses not to move forward with me romantically, my biggest fear is that they follow this mindset of like, well, now we're exes, so we have to do the ex thing where even if we don't hate each other, we're not close. And it's like, luckily I've fallen in love with beautiful people that let love continue with these boundaries in place of they don't want it to be this, they don't want it to be that, but it can still be so many great other things. Love is not inherently romantic. It's beautiful. And I could talk to you forever about the topic. And actually, real quick, if you haven't noticed, if you watch any of my game videos, I haven't uploaded in a month. I don't know if I'm ever going to again. I do think, though, I'm going to start doing more of these ASMR videos because I do like to talk. I do have many, many thoughts to share. I also have many, many books and photos to flip through. But for now, I'm going to go scold John, one of the many loves in my life, for not reaching out to me when they are alone in a city with a major health scare. And a mental health scare as well, like, because the major health scare was like physical, and I don't know a lot about it. Do you hear my stomach? But I'm going to go. Thank you for hanging out. One more thing. I've got a way nicer mic than the one I'm using. Right now I'm just using a Blue Yeti. I've got this nice Rode NT1 mic. Beautiful. I was having so many issues setting it up today. I'm getting an incessant buzzing. So I have to use this shit mic. It's not a shit mic. This sounds pretty decent, I bet. But it could be better. But I'll get that sorted out with that mic at some point. But for now, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for letting me indulge the things I love, share a beautiful day that I had, and just kind of like be expressed about how I view love and how I manage life and how I live a life defined by love. And gang. All right.